Okay, so my name is Hadley, GS, and this project is the phone-controlled robot arm using an Arduino Uno connected to DC motor servos. For this milestone, I've figured out how to control the movement of the DC motors, the servo motors, through the Uno with a gauge that shows how the rotation is working, which I can explain in a second here. As the servo rotates from 180 and back. One of the challenges I faced in completing this milestone was, for a while I was struggling to get the motor to spin in the first place. All the code and all the circuitry was correct, and my instructor had checked it out, but it still wouldn't work. And to solve this issue, I was able to do some research and figure out the difference between PWM and non-PWM pins. So non-PWM pins have two options, either high or low, pretty much on or off in terms of the voltage they're sending. But PWM pins can send pretty much square waves, which send incremental pulses and can control a more controlled movement of the servo, which allows the servo to work, of course. And this works to allow the motor to spin between specific angles. So you can set the servo to, say, like 110, or you can send a pulse every few seconds and then it rotates. Therefore, using the PWM pin was vital. So I can show this working here. Okay, so you can see as the servo rotates between 180 and back, that LED is brightening and dimming. That's the gauge I was talking about. So the breadboard is connected to the 5-volt pin and grounded back. You can sort of ignore everything except the LED here, which is getting that PWM pulse. Oh, sorry, that LED. Yeah, the LED is getting the PWM pulse as well as the DC. You can see over here. And yeah. Okay, and then finally, of course, the code for this. Starting out from the top, we introduce that servo from the library, name the servos, and set the initial variables. From there, in the void setup, we can attach the servos to their pins and send the initial angle, and of course, set the LED output. For the loop code, in between 0 and 180, we're running specific codes, so rotating back and forth, and of course, we're mapping that angle out so it matches up, of course, 180 to 255 for the LED. And if it rotates forward, it brightens, rotates back, it dims.